Welcome to the South Denes at Great Yarmouth. Over the years, South Denes has seen some good times and less good times, and its industry has seen many changes. For many years, it was little more than an expanse of open space, sandwiched between the North Sea and the River Bure. But what a history the area has! Ever since 1817, one structure has stood big and strong on the South Denes, the Nelson Monument. This is a memorial to Lord Nelson, who visited Yarmouth 3 times and was awarded the freedom of the borough. Britannia was placed at the top rather than the Roman galley that was originally planned. The council thought that more appropriate and were prepared to pay the additional cost. The Nelson Monument stood in the centre of a racecourse. Back in 1750, a group of Yarmouth innkeepers were granted a lease on a piece of land on South Denes where they could construct a racecourse. But it's highly likely that this just formalised something that had been happening unofficially for years. And by 1810, races were officially recognised by Weatherby's racing calendar. In 1913, with war with Germany edging ever closer, the South Denes was felt to be a good site for the Royal Naval Air Service to locate one of their first air stations in the country. Seaplanes patrolled the North Sea looking for enemy submarines, and land-based planes came a little later to combat the emerging threat of Zeppelin raids. In January 1915, 2 people in Yarmouth were killed by bombs falling from a Zeppelin. They were the first deaths in the country to have been caused by an air raid. Yarmouth gained its revenge in 1916 and again in 1918 when Egbert Cadbury, flying from the South Denes, piloted planes which shot down 2 Zeppelins. He went on to become a director of the famous chocolate company.
Oh, it was a fine and a pleasant day. Out of Yarmouth Harbour I was faring, as a cabin boy on a sailing lugger, for to go and hunt the shoals of herring.
The fishing industry is as old as the town itself. It began in the 12th century and for many years was the largest industry in the town. Up until 1869, boats unloaded their catches on the beach. But a major improvement came when a fish wharf was built, and this led to numerous curing processes being set up, along with salt and ice stores, which led to a lot of employment for local people. In 1920, more land was needed for the expanding fishing industry, so the racecourse was relocated to its current home here on North Denes. As the fishing industry continued to expand, Birdseye opened a factory on this site in 1947. They originally intended to establish a processing line to freeze herring, but that was unsuccessful. They switched to whitefish, and this led, in 1955, to South Denes becoming the birthplace of the fish finger.
Captain Birdseye! Help yourselves, me hearties, while I have a word with your mum. Captain Birdseye's the name.
By the early 60s, the fishing industry was dying as fish stocks declined due to overfishing, and the invasion of foreign fishing boats didn't help. As a result, today only one smokehouse remains.
Sailed 1,000,000 miles, caught 10 million fishes. We was following the shoals of herring.
Renewable energy has become a big thing of late, as evidenced by all the wind turbines behind me. And prior to these being erected, The discovery of oil in the North Sea in the 1960s led to the arrival of the oil and gas industry, and with it many jobs. This coal-fired power station was built on South Denes in 1954. For over 40 years it supplied power to the national grid. But by the new millennium it was out of date, so it was knocked down and a new power station built in its place. These are the golden sands on which Yarmouth's holiday reputation was founded. And because of them, the local council were prompted to build a campsite here on South Denes after World War II. This offered cheap and easy holidays by the sea. Caravans soon took the place of tents, and these were packed together to make as much money as possible. Over time, with the advent of cheap foreign holidays and larger holiday parks, the site went into decline and eventually closed, leaving the sands we see today. So, what of South Denes' future? Plans have been approved to develop this land to the south of the pleasure beach by way of a substantial project called The Edge, a large entertainment complex. This could bring significant development to the area, and whilst there has been little visible progress to date, plans are still said to be very much alive. And it's been claimed that the decommissioning of hundreds of North Sea oil wells and platforms could bring significant jobs and investment opportunities to the area. A possibility which has been enhanced by the recent sale of the Great Yarmouth port to one of the biggest port operators in the country. And in addition, a project called Norfolk Vanguard proposes the offshore development of one of the UK's largest wind farms. These and other plans give reasons for optimism. Some industries are currently thriving and some perhaps are not. The future of South Denes is difficult to predict, but one thing is for sure, this area of Great Yarmouth will continue to evolve and change to meet the needs of the times, as it has done so many times in the past.